So today I'm going to be going through a strategy that I have used to grow my agencies, softwares, an equipment company. Because here's the issue that we have when we do cold outreach is that it's cold. So it feels like we're going after people and trying to we don't have any leverage. And if you think about start thinking about things from a leverage standpoint, it's so much harder to approach something cold when you don't have a reason to talk to someone. Like I'll give you an example. Let's say that you were to knock on someone's door and you just want to start a conversation with them and knock on their door and you're going to try to sell them something. They held all the leverage. They can be like, "No, I'm not interested." They can close the door. But what if you knock on that same exact door because you noticed that their roof is on fire, or you noticed that there was something wrong with their house, or there was something that was very important that they knew it, so that way for their own safety, or so that for to save whatever. It changes the reason why now you're knocking on the door. It also changes the perspective of the way they receive it. It can also you can aggravate people. You can frustrate them, which is not always a bad thing. I know you might think, how can frustrating someone not be a bad thing? It can actually move them. You can move somebody with frustration. And then some people are excited and grateful for an opportunity. And so what we found is that we can do pretty much all of these things using what we call the pull method. Has anybody ever seen the pull method? Just drop it in the chat if you guys have seen the pull method in action. Nope. That's good because it was coined by my grandfather. So back in the day, I'll give you how it originally came up. There's a company that my grandfather was the vice president for called Wacker Neuson Equipment Company. And they would go to they were trying to sign up dealers. They were trying to build distribution so that way the dealers would stock their equipment. And then, once you set up a dealer, they're selling equipment, they keep reordering, they keep reordering. The problem is that they didn't have at the time much market share. So they were thinking, how do we get into these dealers? And they would go in and the dealers, no, we sell this already. We've already got this kind of equipment. So what they ended up doing was something kind of genius. They shifted the power dynamic to themselves. They went to the job sites and they just started selling contractors on the equipment. And then what they would do is they would take that deal, they would bring it to a dealer that they wanted to sign up, and they would say, "Hey, this contractor just agreed to buy this machine from us. We don't have any dealers in the area. We'd like to run this deal through you. You'll get the profits from it right out of the gate. And we would have to set you up as a dealer if you're interested in doing this." And they would start signing up dealers like crazy, because now what happened was, well, I'm either going to work with you or compete with you. You get to choose. I either get to put money in your bank account or I get to take money out of your bank account. That's why I say you can frustrate people, and it's not always a bad thing, because sometimes it'll frustrate people into buying from you. So that's how this method works. You're still reaching out to people cold. You're still reaching out to people in a way that is, what's the word? That where they don't necessarily know who you are, but you're doing it with an angle that gives you leverage to where if they say no, they know you're going to be working against them. So here would be an example of this, understanding this. So for step number one would be, you have to target who their ideal customer is. And then you bypass your ideal customer and you focus on their target audience. So I'll give you an example because I know what Doug does. I'm just going to use Doug as an example. Doug sells data. His primary audience is marketers. Marketers are going after business owners. So if I was Doug and I wanted to get marketers to buy from me, I would probably go get some business owners who are interested in data. And this might seem counterintuitive to be like, well, I'll just work directly with them and make the money. But if that's not really his ideal target, if his target is agencies and he knows he can make more money off agencies, he could say, we don't sell direct to consumer. So I'm going to run this through an agency. So then he would find an agency that he knows is a large agency, an agency that he knows can handle a lot of business and say, hey, listen, I have this contractor who is interested in buying data from us. We don't sell direct to contractors, we only wholesale. Um, if you're interested in getting set up with us, I can run this customer through you and you can make the money off of it right away. You could make the sale off of it right away. Does this make sense for everyone? Like the angle that you're doing on how you're acquiring the customers? Awesome. So you're creating this value up front and you're getting tangible results without any initial permission or commitment from them. Then afterwards, you present a value proposition. You leverage the created value to initiate a powerful business relationship. Exactly. You're showing up with someone saying, hey, this is who I'm going for. I've mentioned this before in other lives, but I'll mention it again. When I would need an area, like let's say I wanted a personal injury attorney in Nevada, I would go to my branded website and I would just start running ads, even though I didn't have a personal injury attorney there, to collect leads for people who were in a car accident. And as I would generate these leads, I would scrape a list of all my ideal attorneys and I would be sending the leads to them, but with blurred out information saying, hey, and it was automatic. It was through Zapier. Lead comes in, sends it to this list of people. And it would say, this person was in an accident. They need help. If you would like to get their information, give me a call. I'm looking for an attorney who can take on these referrals. I never once ran that campaign over an area where I didn't close a deal. Never once. Because I was proving to them up front that that I can do this, that this isn't a theory. Here's the people. Doug says maybe reference an area might help. Like say I'm looking for an agency in Chicago who works with realtors. You could absolutely do that. I was literally, yeah, speaking of scrape lists, you know what? Andre's had COVID for the last like 5-6 days. So I had him on a Zoom earlier for the first time and he looked bundled up and sounded like Satan. So I will see where he's at with that. Let's see here. So the thing that makes this pull method here stand out is that if you think of like traditionally, you're literally asking permission, then you get rejection, and you've got very limited leverage. It's like, nope, we don't want you in the area. With the pull method, you're getting these upfront results. You're creating this fear of missing out, and it's eliminating their power to say no because they can say no, but that means you're going to go to a competitor. So you can literally be like, if if you guys don't want it, that's okay. There's a few other people that I can discuss this with. I just wanted to give you guys a shot because I was looking at online based on your reviews and the way you're set up. It looks like we would be a great fit. So here's a few principles of the pull method that you got to keep in mind that you want these dynamics in. One is that there has to be perceived exclusivity. It works if they feel like that you're going to be working exclusively through them in some way. So like, for instance, Doug said in Chicago, you would be exclusive to the Chicago area. As businesses are interested in this data from, say, Illinois or Chicago area, I'm going to send them all through you. I'm building out a network, of people of data. And then this is going to create this power shift. You own the power, you own the leverage. If they're interested, that's only the first part. You got to make sure if they're interested that it's even a good fit. Because, if you're going to send people to them, you got to know that those leads are going to get followed up on. So it allows you to all of a sudden say, listen, I'm glad that you're interested. Let's hop on a call. I just got to make sure that everything else would be sound and a good fit. because there's been a few people that we've partnered with where we would send them these leads, and they would take too long to follow up on them, et cetera. So I just want to make sure that you've got the proper systems in place. If not, I can help you get those systems in place, but I just want to make sure you got the right things in place to be able to move forward with this. And then you're creating this fear of missing out for them. These principles create this compelling narrative that positions you as the valuable partner. And now you're not just an agency providing leads, but you're somebody who cares about a brand you're building, cares about a business that you've had. And I'll tell you, that makes it even more powerful. Like if you're doing identity resolution or whatever, if you have a brand that they are feeling like you're trying to protect and build, it does create, it's a lot better than just saying, well, I'm buying from Nick or I'm buying from Doug. If you've got something that seems like a stable company that you're trying to get the most out of here. So the psychology that you're trying to trigger is loss aversion. So you need to get them in this mindset that if they say no, they're missing out on an opportunity that they might not get back because you're going to be offering it to someone else. Then you've got the partnership mindset. Partnership mindset is basically you clients prefer partners over vendors, and partners don't not pay other partners. Sometimes people think, yeah, but I'm worried if I say partner that it means that they're not going to make money. No, partners can pay partners. It's just a matter of how you structure the deal. It's how you structure I don't want you to feel like a client because we're together on this. As these leads come through, I care just as much about you closing them as you do because I generated the lead. My brand on the front end was on the line, or however you're structuring your business. And then you've got to have urgency. So this with me or against me approach, it is going to drive quick decision making because people will put things off. Can you reach out to me next week? Unfortunately, I actually can't. I need to have this figured out before this Thursday. I've got these things coming in. If you're not if it's not something that you're interested in, or if you don't think this is going to be a fit, that's okay. I just need to make sure so I can find somebody who can. Okay. Well, let's take a look at this. Can you do it tomorrow? Whatever. You want to make them feel like they're going to miss it. Like, don't let them control the deadlines. Well, I'm going to be gone for a week because I'm going on vacation. Can you call me back then? If it's still available, I will give you a call. We are actively trying to get this spot filled before you make up a time before Wednesday. So if you don't have 10 to 15 minutes just see if this is a good fit before then, I totally get it. No problem. We can put you on back at the bottom of the list, and if no one else is interested, we'll circle back to you. And now you're creating another urgency here again. So benefits here, it's eliminating this cold outreach. So you're not just cold calling and cold emailing, but you're cold calling and cold emailing with an angle, something that gives you some power. You have instant credibility. So it's going to establish your expertise through tangible results. And then you've got trust building. So your clients see your capabilities before committing or trying to build up trust. And why most people fail to use this, especially marketers, is because they're relying on these permission-based tactics. They have fear of rejection and they don't have a strategic framework. So they haven't sat there and thought through the noise of how do I make this thing work? How do I get this thing to actually work? So they say yes. What's my next step? Okay, now how can I have congruency in my messaging? Because if they get on a call and now you do a demo and you try to pitch it to them through a demo, the congruency might not be very good there. You might have to get on a call and set them up for the demo. You might have to find, how do you segue into this without it seeming like you were doing a bait and switch? And those are things that you got to think through and put through a lot of depth. Bait and switches, in my opinion, just kill business. I hate it. Have you ever had somebody where they booked something on your calendar and then there was a bait and switch and you realize that they're just trying to sell you something? I hate it. It feels like a waste of time and I feel like it breaks trust. So be upfront that this is, when you say this opportunity, blah, 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 don't make it ever sound like it's a free thing. You don't really want it to sound like a free thing. You have a cost in this too. And if somebody were to say, well, how do I, so you're charging me for this? You can say, well, how else would I make anything off the deal? You're the one who's going to be closing the clients. You're going to be the one receiving the money. How would I get money from this if I didn't charge you something for it? You put it back on them. So embracing this here, it's in my opinion, this is an overlooked method. Some people use it, but I don't see a ton of people using it. I'll give you a good example of someone who uses this. Zillow, Trulia, these companies, they own the traffic, and then they let people grapple to get access to the traffic that they own. So you have to make it where you own the beach, and people are grappling just to get a little slice and relax on your beach. You're going to end up having the power in your hands. It's going to give you this fear of missing out and help make some decisions. So let's do a little bit of a Q&A here and see if anybody's got any questions on this. And it can also be how you could make this kind of a thing work for your business. We can brainstorm that as well. And feel free just to turn your mic on. If you don't hear someone else talking, you don't have to type it. By the way, Norman, we are happy to have you here in the community.
Thanks.
So, Kim, I'm going to throw you on the spot. Is that okay?
Yeah, totally fine.
Okay, so Kim has a recruiting company. Here's how Kim would use this. So, Kim, you're recruiting mainly for specific kinds of businesses or any businesses?
We have several divisions. We've got a healthcare division, construction division, legal division. And so in the recruiting world, we call it MPC, most placeable candidate. So you take a candidate that you may or may not have available, and we do tons of cold outbound to hiring managers to see if they have a need.
Got it.
And then
So,
we job order.
one of the ways that this method could be tested on that is if someone has a need, for instance, and they see the opportunity to fill that need, it's reasonable to think they would take it. For instance, if I need some contractors to work for me, if I'm in construction and I'm looking for contractors to come, let's say I need electricians and I'm running low on electricians. I'm probably out there initially. I'm probably doing a lot of the jobs myself as well because we're low on people and I have a need to hire someone. So I haven't had time to recruit and this and that. Now, if someone reaches out to me and says, hey, are you looking to recruit some for electricians? We help you place them with them, blah, 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 blah. You're going to get a percentage of people respond to that because, yeah, I do have that need, blah, blah, blah. But you're also going to get a percentage of people who are going to think, man, the second I open that can of worms, that's why I haven't had time to do this at this point. The second I open that can of worms, now all of a sudden I've got interviews I'm trying to do. They're going to probably send me a bunch of paperwork that I'm going to have to fill out. I've got all these quotes I got to get out. I don't know that I have time for any of this. But if you were to just say, hey, we are looking for a company that can take a couple electricians. We've got a few electricians that are skilled at this level, blah, 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 looking to be hired. Are you hiring right now? That's different because well, they're already ready to go. Like I don't have to try to interview. I'm gonna have to interview them, but I don't have to try to sift and sort and fill out all this crap. Like you've already got people interested, ready. It changes the dynamic. So that would be how, for instance, the pool method would work for recruiting.
Yeah, we do that. That's a great example. We do that in the recruiting space all day long. Like we're
So
sending
you're
out
using the pool
probably,
method.
yeah, and we've been doing it forever. In the recruiting world, you call it MPC, like you market a candidate to get a job order.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys are ahead of the marketers then, because you don't see a lot of marketers doing it.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to do it like in the use case that I gave you. was for recruiters, getting them in my like certification program and my accelerator program. So I need to figure out how to do that for that
Oh,
space.
so recruiters would be people who are looking to help place people with other companies. So their customer would be companies that are looking to hire, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So you would just do the same thing to them. You would say, you would find companies that are looking to hire, and you would say, for instance, let's say you start doing things demographically or whatever, you find a way to make it exclusive, and you would say, we're looking for recruiters in this area who can help find, uh, basically, who can help companies that are reaching out to us in your area or something like that, in your state. So, or in your region, something like that. So you could be like, our company is looking to find recruiters that we can, as referral partners, that we can help set you up in our system. So that way, when companies are, and you'll polish the wording, but the dynamic here of what we're saying, when companies need to hire, they would turn to you. We would send them to you for their recruiting needs. If you would be interested in learning about becoming a referral partner in our recruiting, with our recruiting company, schedule a call and I'll explain to you how it works. Then when they get on the call, you have to make them feel as if your brand has the traffic, has the leverage. Hopefully it does, of companies that need recruiting. And then you would set them up. And part of their certification, I assume, is teaching them how to get companies that want to get recruits. So, you would get that aspect on it as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I like that because we literally have that. Like we have right now with our marketing, we have more orders coming in than we can handle. So I like that. We can use that in our actually I should send you some updated messaging and we should include that in what we're doing because I think that'll really like get them yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. How come you have to dress so fancy? Don't you work out of home?
I do. I actually was on a show today.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Because I
not
was
this
gonna,
fancy.
okay. I was gonna say you look like you're
Yeah.
dressed up fancy.
Yeah, we did a show today all about AI recruiting. I was on it's a staffing show. So
How did it go?
yeah, it was great. Yeah, we're doing a series of them.
Awesome. Very cool. Let's see here. Anybody else want to step up for the punch to see this? I can see the refer partner angle working great to partner with website and design companies, have them sell my data to their end users. Yep, for sure. Okay. I allot 30 minutes to an hour for these workshops if you guys don't have any questions. That's okay. I got a lot to do anyways. I'm doing a webinar tomorrow and I've been whiteboarding it out on the whiteboard behind me. By the way, just so you guys know, starting next week on Wednesday, there's going to be a standing weekly call that focuses on all the health stuff that we're doing in here. So that's kind of exciting. That's something new. That's kind of my passion right now is I just find that when you're feeling disciplined and your brain is feeling sharp and you feel like you have more confidence and you feel like you have structure and routine in life and you just feel good about yourself, you make good business decisions and it directly equates to revenue going up. I know people think of their health and their wealth as separate things. And one of the things that I'll be talking about tomorrow on the training is that there's different aspects and you can still be successful if you're super good at one of them. Like for instance, my health was crap, but in 2017, 2018, like I was really motivated. 2019, like because I had a lot of motivation and I was hungry for, like, if you're super excelling in one specific area, you can do good for a certain period of time, but it will catch up to you at some point. But when you can be balanced in many things, It's crazy how things go. And then as I look back, I think about how much better you have to be at sales. Like, and I'm talking about myself, not any of you guys, but you have to be so much better at sales when you are a fatty McFat fat. Because think about it, like to hand someone 15, 20 grand who can't even manage the food they put in their mouth to hope that they're going to manage a project and get something done for you. It's a unsaid thing. But it's true. Like I don't know if I would, if I get on a call, I'll give you guys an example. There's a company, it's a association called AED in the equipment world. And my dad had drummed it up like the CEO of this company was coming for, and we needed to, impress the person and so forth to be able to get a good slot at the show and maybe be able to speak and this and that. This is when we were starting the equipment thing up. And I remember the guy got out of the car and he looked like one of these guys that looked like he had been drinking all night and threw a suit coat on to look professional. Like the kind of guy that like you can smell Listerine under the alcohol, over the alcohol on his breath. And his pants had like dog hair on it, extremely overweight. He had like a suit coat on that didn't fit him properly. And I immediately was like not intimidated anymore. I was like, why are we like acting like this guy is, some sort of big old head honcho that we need to impress? He doesn't even care to impress us the way that he was. And it didn't quite click for me then yet that look at yourself. Like, it just didn't click for me yet. But it's crazy how people trust you more when you manage your life, your health. They just feel like you've got things more together. And so I want to help people do that. And also you're just happier. It's not That's just a side effect of it. Like you're just happier when you're making good decisions and your family, you feel healthy, you feel like you got energy to be with your family, you feel like you got the energy to wake up and get all your tasks done. And there's just a clarity. So I'm excited for that. We're gonna go through that tomorrow on how they're interconnected and how they're linked up. But okay, guys. Appreciate you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Your health is your wealth. I need to know more. Yeah, I'm happy to help with that. And the peptides are just an aspect of it. Um, I had a guy at church come up to me from behind and he grabbed my waist like this and he goes, I need to know what you're doing. You know what? I'm gonna probably be putting it at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Doug. Because I have a meeting at 2 with a company that I consult for. And he grabs me in the waist. He goes, I need to know what peptide you're taking. And I was like, well, I'll tell you this. None of the peptides go to the gym for me. Because they won't. The peptides that I'm currently taking are all around recovery and healing. So, like for instance, today was leg day, leg and shoulder day, and I've been sick, so I just beat them up in my basement. But usually after leg and shoulder day, I am literally sore, walking around like I was riding a horse for 3 days. With the stack that I'm currently on, I could probably do leg and shoulder day again tomorrow. Like I feel like I'm a 10-year-old kid again who went and played outside all day, got sore, went home, went to bed, and now he's feeling good again. So there's that. That's the main aspect of the peptides I've been taking. I will say this, it's kind of funny. I tested one out. It's called M2 Mellotan, and it increases the melatonin in your skin. It's got a few other benefits. My wife, you guys can't tell because I got this light on. My wife was like, dude, quit tanning for a little bit. Like you're gonna get a little too dark. Like I could see your moles are popping a little bit more. And I was like, I've only tanned actually once in like the last 2 weeks, dear. And she said, I was like, but this this peptide makes you tan. And so it's kind of funny because like it's all my whole entire body looks tan. And I only tanned once. I do this hybrid red light tanning thing at Planet Fitness where it's like they do both of them. So it's not like I'm baking in a tanning bed all days, but it worked. So it worked. But there are things that I've been digging into. And one day when I no longer need to be in business to do business stuff, hopefully health, like creating a health and fitness kind of brand, when I don't need to make money, that's what I'll do right now. I got to make money. So I continue growing the business until I solve Consolidated one day because I got too much invested in it. But that's the goal. I do have some really big updates coming on Consolidated, by the way, like some really sweet things. Our dashboard builder is about to get really, really sexy. So that's going to be awesome. Yeah, Doug, it's weird. So it activates when you go and you get in the sun. You have I wonder if this vitamin D lamp that's shining on me is partially doing this to me. But when you go into the sun, your skin when it bakes, it turns on this protective agent that increases the melatonin in your skin to protect you from getting burnt and et cetera. And that's why usually you can have like one big burn at the beginning of the summer, and then after that, you can be outside and not get burnt as much. And so this literally flips the switch and you're manually activating it with the peptide and it just makes you tan. But I live in Wisconsin and it's now snowing. So like it's starting to get a little fishy. So I need to if you just look up, and I can get it for you by the way at a really good price if you ever want it, but just look up Mellotan M2. It's the peptide. But yeah, it's kind of fishy in Wisconsin if you look tan because people are like he's either tanning or something's wrong with him or he's been down south. Yeah. Anyways, well, guys, appreciate all of you. I don't quite know what doxycyline is. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, but next week, for those who are interested, just so you know, for the first week of the health thing, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a plan because there's no one size fits all. For instance, a female is going to be different than a male. Everybody's hormones are different. Everybody's blood work is different. And so I'm going to show you guys literally like the breakdown of what they say not to take it because you will burn like hell if you take it out and go out in the sun. But the doxycyline or the M2. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say M2, they actually recommend that you do go get a tan if you want. Oh, it's an antibiotic. Yeah, I've never taken it. Yeah, but it's gonna be pretty fun. I'm excited to see the changes that people start making if they actually start implementing some of the stuff that I'm gonna show them. Try to make this easy for them. Awesome, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you.